Speaking about China, I happened to be watching the Kudlow show earlier in the week, and John Brown from Europac was on there talking about China. And this guy actually had the nerve to say that what we need in China is Social Security and unemployment, that we need these social safety nets because the Chinese are saving too much, and we need the government to come in and take care of everybody so that people won't save and that they'll spend. I mean, the reason that the Chinese economy is so strong is because they're saving. The last thing that China wants to do is become more like America. I mean, here this guy is saying that there's too much freedom in China. There's too much individual self-reliance. There's too many rugged individuals. What we need is a nanny state in China. China needs to be more socialistic like America, not the free market country that it actually is. I mean, could you believe a guy actually saying this? The last thing that they want. I mean, talk about committing economic suicide. You think China's looking at America and seeing the gigantic mess that we've made of Social Security with this Ponzi scheme and all the millions of Americans collecting unemployment checks? You think China really wants to emulate that aspect of the U.S. economy? I mean, it is crazy. People are criticizing China for being too free market oriented and that they should be more socialistic like the United States. And of course, the reason this guy wanted China to buy more, or Chinese consumers to spend more, is so they would buy more stuff. But, like, they're actually going to buy more American stuff? Of course not. When the Chinese people start to spend more, they're going to buy more of the same things that we're buying, Chinese products. And, of course, the real reason that the Chinese aren't buying more products is because they can't afford them because the government is suppressing their currency. Well, the Chinese yuan closed, I think, at its highest level since 1993 today. I think the trend looks very strong. Who knows? We can have a very, very big up year for the yuan next year, much more than what people think. And that's what's going to give the Chinese purchasing power, not depending on a nanny state so that they no longer have to save for their own retirement or save for a rainy day, that they depend on the government for doing it.
China's basic medical care system now covers more than a fifth of the country's population. The Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security also reports a steady rise in the number of participants in the country's social security system in the first 3 quarters of the year. Li Xiang reports.
Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security figures show that from January to September, over 13 million workers joined the nationwide urban pension system. That brings the total number of people covered to about 215 million. The coverage of China's basic medical care system experienced an even larger expansion. By the end of September, nearly 274 million people were covered by the medical care system. 18% of them joined this year. The ministry says the Social Security income reached 947 billion yuan in the first 3 quarters of the year, 30% higher than the same period in 2007.
Considering the fundamentals of China's current economic development and the overall situation in development of domestic enterprises, we believe we can achieve our goal this year, which aims to further expand the coverage of Social Security and increase its income.
The figures also show an increase in people participating in other Social Security mechanisms, such as unemployment insurance and work injury insurance. Li Xiang, CCTV.